Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Byler, and I'm with the Educational Opportunity Center. And this afternoon, I'm going to share with you a little bit about our program and how we can help you with achieving your educational goals. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So we are a federally funded TRIO program designed to provide assistance with college admissions, career counseling, and financial aid options for any college. So it doesn't have to be just for people who are interested in going to North Ark. It can be for any college, whether it is in the state of Arkansas or outside the state of Arkansas. Who is eligible? Any adult who is interested in completing a college degree or training for a new or better job. We also help GED students who are wanting to enter college or people who don't have their GED yet but are wanting to enroll. We also help people who are in high school that are seniors in high school, as long as they are not already in a talent search program. All of our services are completely free. We don't charge for anything that we do. We help with everything from admissions applications to scholarship applications, financial aid, all of that, and it does not cost you anything. So we help you with those admissions applications, like I said, with completing your FAFSA, setting up your federal student aid ID as part of that as well. If you haven't done that before, we help you to do that. The different scholarship applications out there, we help you with student loans, including helping you if you are currently in default on your student loans and are needing to see about how to get out of default status, get back in good grace with that. As you know, right now, there is a moratorium on payments, I believe through September, but if you were in default before that happened, you're still considered to be in default status. So it's a really good time to work on getting out of default so that you can get back on track with your educational goals and have everything in place whenever you're ready to go back to school. We also help with choosing a career through doing career interest inventories. We help with registering for the different college entrance examinations out there. That can be anything from taking an ACT or an SAT to taking an ACCUPLACER, which is available to take at the college at North Ark. It's also available to take over at ASU Mountain Home, or if you're over in our more western counties, it's available to take in Springdale at NTI. We also help people to enroll in GED classes. Every county in Arkansas has GED classes that are available for you to take in person. Again, that is for free as well. Not a lot of states out there can say that, but in Arkansas, we believe in education and in helping people to get the education that they need to be able to provide for themselves and their families. And so those classes are free and they're available in every county. We also give presentations to groups of prospective clients or support organizations, and we refer people to other community and support service agencies. So what are some of the things that you could be doing right now? Well, if you are one of the people who does not have a high school diploma, doesn't have a GED, you can enroll in GED classes right now. I've got the schedule up here for the classes in Harrison. Like I said, though, there are classes available in every county, and you'll notice that in Harrison, those classes are available from 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, and then evening classes as well on Monday and Thursday evenings. So if you work during the day, you've got that opportunity to go at night. Several of the other counties also have classes that are available for you to take at night. You can also take an ACCUPLACER right now. That is the college entrance exam that most people who are older students coming back to college or coming to college for the first time will take. At North Ark, that's available to take through the testing center. And it is just math, reading, and writing. It is not a timed test. So if you previously had a bad experience with trying to take the ACT or the SAT because of it being timed, you don't have to worry about that with this. It's also $10 to take the whole test. And if you've never been to college before, then you do need to take the whole test. And the purpose of this is to help you help the advisors be able to see what level of English classes that you need to be put in and what level of math classes that you need to be put in whenever you're starting college. Something else that you can do right now, if you're just really not sure about what it is specifically that you are wanting to do, is you can complete a career interest inventory. The website that I'm showing you there is mynextmove.org. This is a really good, super fast way to at least figure out what you're interested in. If you choose to do this on your own, I suggest that you don't think anything about how much money that you're going to make or how long you're going to be in school to be able to do whatever the questions are, but just think about strictly whether or not you would like it. And the nice thing about it is it's got the answers are in the form of smiley faces. So like a really big smiley face if it's something that you think that you would really like, and if it's something that you wouldn't like at all, then it's a frowny face, and then it's somewhere in between for everything else. But it just 60 questions, super fast, and kind of puts everything into different categories where you can then go through and look and see, okay, these are the jobs that don't require any additional education, that are things that I might be interested in or am well suited for. These are the ones that require some amount of education, and here's the jobs that would require quite a bit more education, a bachelor's degree or above. You can also apply for financial aid right now. Every year, the FAFSA for the following year comes out October the 1st. You use the prior year's tax information. It's actually the prior year. People get kind of confused about that. But the reason why is because people who were applying back in October to go to school this coming fall, the 21-22 school year, well, in October, you wouldn't have had your 2020 taxes done yet. So that's why if you're looking at going to school in the fall in the 21-22 school year, it's going to look at your 2019 tax information. If you are interested in taking classes this summer, and there's still plenty of time to do that, summer school starts at the end of May, then you will use your 2018 tax information to complete that. So we can help you with completing both of those. Completing a FAFSA is not just necessary for getting a Pell Grant. It's also necessary if you need to take out any student loans, and some of the scholarships require it. Most of the scholarships through the Arkansas Department of Higher Education do require that you complete a FAFSA, even if you don't think that you'll qualify for any free money from the FAFSA. But in order to be able to get those scholarships, you need to, and most colleges that offer any kind of foundation scholarships, they will also require that you complete a FAFSA in order for them to award those to you. And like I had said earlier, we also help with creating a federal student aid ID if you don't already have one. If you are someone who is under the age of 24, does not have children, is not married, then you will also need this tax information for your parents, unless there is some extenuating circumstances, like if you were in foster care or if somebody else had legal guardianship of you before you turned 18. So we can also help with creating a federal student aid ID for your parents as well. Talking about scholarships, there are several different kinds of scholarships available. There are college or university scholarships. These are the ones that are from their foundations. Whenever people donate to colleges, a lot of times they will donate specifically to certain scholarships, and those scholarships will have different guidelines on them. Sometimes it's based off of where you're from. They may say, I went to high school at Huntsville, so I want this scholarship to go to somebody who graduated from Huntsville High School. Or it may go specifically to a certain career program. They may say, I want this money to go to a nursing student. So there's all different kinds of foundation scholarships available. And also along with that are merit scholarships. Those are the ones that are based off of your ACT score or your ACCUPLACER. Those also come specifically from the college or university. Then there's the Academic Challenge Scholarship. That's through the Arkansas Department of Higher Education. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple of slides here. And there are just private scholarships in general. These are on the local level, the state level, and the national level. When you're still in high school, your high school counselor is usually really good about providing information about those scholarships, sending those out to the seniors. When you get older, it's a little bit more difficult to find those, but we can help you with finding those as well. Sometimes there are scholarships available through different civic organizations like Kiwanis or Lions Club or something like that. And sometimes there's ones that are the national scholarships, and we have all of that information available for you. So just a few different websites that you might jot down, or you can rewatch this since I'm recording it, that are good to go to find out if you might qualify for some additional scholarship money. So the first one there, the scholarships.adhe.edu, that is where all of the Arkansas Department of Higher Education scholarships and grants are found. So that includes the Academic Challenge Scholarship, which is an entering freshman is based off of your ACT or ACCUPLACER score, based off the equivalent of a 19 or above on your ACT, gives you $500 per semester your first year, and then goes up from there. It's also where you find the Arkansas Future Grant. This is a program that is specifically for people who are looking at going into different STEM fields that are the 2-year or less programs, or regional high demand fields. So it might be things like HVAC or automotive or welding. It varies just a little bit every year based off what the high demand careers are out there. And then also the Workforce Challenge Grant. And that is a grant of up to $800 that is for some of the different certificate programs. So that's programs that are less than 2 years that are meeting a need in Arkansas. And so it's not necessarily just programs that give you college credit, but at some of the schools, it also includes some programs that are not for college credit. CNA falls under that. And then I've put up some other ones that are national, and then Arkansas scholarship databases. FastWeb is a national one that's a very big database. You create your own account and go through from there. Fundmyfuture.info is a strictly Arkansas based one, that another one that you kind of create a backpack and put the different ones that you think you're interested in. And then I've got a couple of others on there as well. So this shows you what the Arkansas Department of Higher Ed website looks like, where you're going to go on there and do what's called your YOUniversal application. And yes, that is spelled correctly. That's what they call it, the YOUniversal application. So this is the one where you're going to do one application for all of the different scholarships and grants that the Arkansas Department of Higher Ed has to offer. These are also known as the lottery scholarships. So the Academic Challenge, there is a couple of different options on that. I mentioned before about if you were an incoming freshman. So that's generally traditional students, but also as a non-traditional student, if you've sat out for a year, even from high school, then you're now considered non-traditional. You can get the Academic Challenge. And it, if you are going back to school, then it would be based off of your grade point average from when you were in school before. So a 2.5 or above in college would qualify you for the Academic Challenge. If you go as a non-traditional student, then you don't have to take the 15 hours of college credit that's required each semester. You can take a lesser amount, but you will receive less money if you do that. And you can see that table there that shows you the difference between how much you would receive if you go to a 4-year college versus going to a 2-year college. And you'll notice that for that first year, it's exactly the same. Then there's also the Arkansas Future Grant. This was the one that I was telling you is the one that is specifically for students enrolled in the STEM field. So that includes all of your different healthcare programs that are in a 2-year or less environment, and then different regional high demand areas. And if you go on the website, there will be a link on there that you can pull it up. They update it every year that tells you specifically what the different degree plans are at the different colleges in Arkansas that qualify for the Arkansas Future Grant. In order to qualify for this, you have to verify that you have lived in the state of Arkansas for the 3 years prior to applying for this program. And if you did not graduate from a high school in Arkansas, then you need to provide your GED transcript or your high school transcript from wherever you did go. And then you have to be enrolled in one of those programs, either full-time or part-time. And what this program does is it actually picks up where other things leave off. So maybe you qualified for partial Pell, maybe you're getting half of the total Pell eligibility and you're in a nursing program. And so the tuition and fees are more than what Pell will pay. Arkansas Future Grant can come along and pick up where those other programs leave off and pay tuition and fees. It doesn't cover anything on books, but it covers on tuition and fees. As part of that, you agree that you're going to live and work in Arkansas for 3 years after you've received it. Now that can include, like, for example, if you were getting your RN and you're trying to go on for your BSN and you're doing that online, that can include that time that you're enrolled in that BSN program. That can be part of your 3 years, but you say that you will live and work in Arkansas for 3 years after you have completed this. If you don't, then it transfers over to a low interest loan. Also, you agree that you will do community service of some kind for 15 hours per semester. So that boils down to 1 hour a week, and that you will meet with a mentor, and that's set up through your college's financial aid office. And then the Workforce Challenge Grant, like I said before, that was the $800 or less if the program costs less than that grant that's available for those different certificate programs. And you do have to make sure that your degree plan says that you are enrolled specifically in that certificate. So like if you were taking an EMT class, but you were also taking English and math, you would need to make sure that your degree plan specifically said EMT if you're wanting the Arkansas Workforce Challenge to come along and pick that up. Other financial help. If you are a single parent, this is the website to go to, www.aspsf.org. Not every county in Arkansas falls under this organization, but every county in Arkansas has a single parent scholarship group available to them. This particular one in this area covers Boone, Newton, Searcy, Baxter, and Van Buren counties. And like I said, it's pretty much throughout the state. Carroll, Madison, and Washington counties are all under the Northwest Arkansas single parent scholarship, but I can get you that information if you need that. However, if you were to go to this website and you were to put your county in, it would send you to that particular website. But these are programs available specifically for single parents. The amount that you get would be based off of how many hours that you're taking. Right now, this particular scholarship is $1,200 per semester for students who are enrolled full-time. So that's 12 hours or more. The one that is for our more western counties, Carroll, Madison, and Washington counties, that one is actually $2,000 per semester for people who are enrolled full-time. You have to be enrolled in a approved institution, and they need to get some different information from you, like most recent copy of your most recent tax return, 2 or 3 references. There's an application to fill out. All of that. I happen to be on the committee for the Boone County Single Parent Scholarship Fund, and so I'd be more than happy to help you with completing that application. Workforce. The workforce department is a lot of times able to help people that get some money in Pell but don't get the full amount, or perhaps you qualify for the full amount of Pell but it's not quite enough. Like with the truck driving program, that program is a little bit more, has some additional fees with it, and so just Pell alone is not enough. There are 2 contact people on there. The second one, it says Beverly Taylor, but she actually just retired, and Julie Smith is the new person's name, and it's the same phone number on there. If you are enrolled in any of these programs, if you've gotten your acceptance letter, I guess I should say. So if you know that you're going to be starting the nursing program in August, or you're going to be starting Rad Tech in August, or you're going to be starting business administration in August, then you can contact them to see if you might qualify for some additional assistance from them. They may be able to help with some of those extra fees that are involved with some of the programs. They may be able to help with the entire tuition. It just depends on what the individual situation is, but it's a good resource. Arkansas Rehabilitation Services. If you have any type of disability, and this doesn't mean that you have to be on disability, but if you have any type of disability, that can include a learning disability. If when you were in school, you were on an IEP plan, if you have any kind of physical disability where you're not able to just do any type of job, like if you've got back problems or problems with your knees or something along those lines, you like where you couldn't stand up for long periods of time, or if you have any kind of mental health issue, then Arkansas Rehabilitation Services may be able to help you. They will send you an application that you will complete, and they'll get information from your physicians to basically verify that you're not able to just do any type of job and that you need additional training to see if they can help you. But they are located in the Northwest Arkansas Economic Development District building and with the Workforce Department in Harrison. And I've put their phone number on there. You may not be able to see all of it. There is an 800 number on there. So if you don't live in the Boone County area, you can call that 1-800 number, 800-330-0632. You can also find them online to get some additional information. And I've actually had several people with varying kinds of disabilities that Arkansas Rehabilitation Services has been able to help with their school. Sometimes it may be that they aren't helping with tuition because you're full Pell eligible, or you've got other scholarships, but maybe they're paying for books, and books can get really expensive. So that's another good option. Career Pathways. Career Pathways helps parents who are enrolled in programs at North Ark. There's also a Career Pathways at ASU Mountain Home. They can help with things like helping with tuition if other resources have been exhausted and there's still some tuition involved that you need help with paying, then they can help with that. They can help with childcare vouchers for while you're going to school. Transportation, they give gas cards to the folks that are involved in their program to help with that expense of driving back and forth to campus. They help with career advising, job search after training. You can see the statistics on there. About 80% of the students that are enrolled in Career Pathways who successfully complete a certificate or degree remain employed in their chosen field after 2 years. So that's really important too, because they've provided some of that additional support that's needed. And you can see on there, their income guidelines are higher than for a lot of programs. For a family of 4, the maximum income is $65,500. If you fall above that, like if your tax return shows that you fell above that, but then, perhaps because of COVID-19, or maybe you've had to cut down your hours because of going to school, if your income has changed, then it's still worth applying to that program, and we can help you with doing that. There's also the SNAP ENT program. This is for people who are receiving SNAP benefits. They can help with providing some additional assistance, things that might not otherwise be covered. Again, it'd be things like transportation, or maybe paying for uniforms for a program, or paying for some additional fees. They help people who are getting their GED, people who are just looking for a job, people who are trying to go back to school. And Yolande Watson is the person to call on there. That phone number, 391-3197. I can also help you with finding that online form to complete. And all of these applications are also available on the North Arc website. So there's a lot of different college options out there. Right now, a lot of classes are online or might be hybrid. As far as different colleges are concerned, the ones that would be within driving distance to the Boone County area would be, of course, North Arkansas College, ASU Mountain Home, College of the Ozarks up in Hollister, and Ozarks Technical College. And then I listed a few of the different state colleges out there. You've got Arkansas Tech, Arkansas State, U of A, UCA, UALR, UA Fort Smith. There's several different state colleges as well. And they have programs that are, some of their programs are available to complete completely online if you're not wanting to move. And some of them are where you have to go in person for most of the classes. It just kind of depends on the specific program. And if you come and see us, then we can help you with figuring out which college is going to be right for you. And then, of course, there are private colleges, and we can help you with applying to any college out there. It doesn't matter which one you're interested in. And then on the online only, I put eVersity. A lot of people don't know about them. It's part of the University of Arkansas system. And so I always tell people, if you're looking at going to college online, to pick a college that has a brick and mortar institution as opposed to one that is just completely online, just because there are a lot of predatory schools out there. We hear horror stories all the time of people who get enrolled in something and then find out later on that college continued to enroll them in classes when they didn't realize that they were still being enrolled, or that they took out more in student loans than they realized. And so that's why we encourage you to stick with a brick and mortar institution if you can at all. But eVersity only has a few different degrees that they offer, but if you're interested in going to school in any of the fields that they have, they're about half the price of the other state schools. They do information technology, they have business, they have criminal justice, they also have healthcare management, and they have just what they call a university degree, which is for people who maybe have gone to school at different times and have a lot of college credits, but don't actually have a complete degree yet. They can be a good option for getting that finished. Arkansas Tech has a degree like that. And there's actually starting to be more colleges that are offering what's called a Bachelor of Applied Science. If you went to college and you got an Associate of Applied Science, say like in business administration, where the Associates of Applied Sciences are meant to end after the 2 years, so you don't have as many of the general education courses. You may not have taken any science courses or history courses or some of those other general education courses. There are actually a few options now for, if you choose to go on and get a bachelor's, you can still get a Bachelor's of Applied Science without having to go back and pick up the general education courses that you missed. So if that's your situation, please let us know and we can help you with finding those. So with doing your admissions applications, if you apply to a college that has an application fee, you can usually get a fee waiver whenever you are an EOC client. For example, University of Arkansas has an application fee. They have on there different boxes that you check, and whenever you check that you are a TRIO client, then they will later send something to you to verify that, and they will waive that application fee. UCA, several of the state schools do have an application fee. Some of the schools that don't would be the community colleges don't have application fees. Tech does not. College of the Ozarks doesn't. But the majority of the state schools, the four-year schools, do have application fees. And so we can help you with getting that waiver, because especially if you're not sure where you want to go and are applying to more than one school, then those can get pretty expensive. Now is the time to apply to college if you are looking at transferring this fall. So if you are in a situation where you're going to be receiving your associate's degree in May and you're ready to transfer to someplace else in the fall, now's the time to go ahead and apply. They'll be having some transfer scholarship deadlines coming up here in another month or so. So you definitely want to make sure that you do that now. You want to make sure that you follow up you're going to get most of your communication through email when you're applying to college. But a lot of times you will also get a confirmation letter in the mail, and especially if it's regarding any kind of scholarship, it might give you some additional instructions. It might say something like, okay, we need your immunization record, we need your high school transcript, different things like that. And so make sure that you are checking your mailbox and that you are checking your emails. And that includes looking in your junk or your spam folder to see if there's anything in there that you might have missed whenever you have applied to school. Deadlines, there's always deadlines. Check and recheck them. Both the admissions deadlines for different places and the scholarship deadlines. All of those Arkansas Department of Higher Education scholarships that I had told you about earlier, the majority of them have a deadline of July the 1st, which right now feels kind of far off, but it's really not that far off. If you keep pushing it until summer, then it could easily pass you. But especially for the academic challenge and the Arkansas Future Grant, you want to make sure that you have completed those applications prior to July 1. If you are in school and you are needing additional assistance, or you're concerned just about whenever you do start school, what am I going to do if I don't know how to complete this English assignment, or what if I don't understand the math? Most colleges will have a tutoring center that covers all subjects, and this center may also be accessible to you online. There may also be departmental tutoring. Some schools have a writing center or a math lab or a language learning center, but you've got all of these options available to you. And I always tell people, if you are starting in a class that you know is going to be difficult for you, go ahead and get signed up with tutoring right away. Don't wait until midterms. Don't wait until finals, especially. Go ahead and get that started right away. Let your instructor know early on if you feel like you're having some difficulty with a certain subject, and see, what their office hours, and make sure that you can get some additional assistance rather than waiting until the end of the 8 weeks if it's a short course, or the end of the semester for a longer course. Make sure you take advantage of those tutoring services that are available to you. And if you are not enrolled in college yet and are just looking at needing to take your ACCUPLACER, your adult education centers can also help you with preparing for the ACCUPLACER or an ACT or SAT if that's the route that you're going. So keep that in mind as well. Or if you've sat out from college for a while and you're getting ready to go back, you can go to the Adult Education Center for assistance with math and reading and writing, some of those different subjects to help you feel a little bit more prepared once you do start back to school. So here is our contact information. I've got my phone number and email address on there. We have a Facebook page, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, and we try to put information out there for you. Encourage you to follow us on all of those platforms. We put information out there about different scholarships that are coming up, different college deadlines, things like that that you need to know. But thank you so much for joining us today, and give me a call or shoot me an email if you have any additional questions.